Seems Friday is here again. Always comes up so quick. We're on boat, but no dinner, unfortunately. We decided we're gonna film on the boat tonight because I didn't make a video at all this week on progress that I made on the boat. So we'll kind of take you through a tour of the boat again and talk about what I worked on this week. Give me just a second here. Try to get this out of the holder without dropping my phone. What's that? If I'm gonna break my phone trying to get it out of here. And now I'm worried too because I don't have my case on it. Say hello, welcome aboard. My trusty companion.
You're not going, are you?
With some more light for me. Yeah, we're going.
It's early.
It's like 1 minute early. But that's okay.
You're early.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll just hang out and watch you hook up a light for me so I can walk them through my boat again.
We got a light down there.
Yeah, a little bit. But I had them grab the work light, the caged one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They plugged it down there,
And
but I don't have anything to plug into.
no, but you can plug that in instead because I have the 2 flashlights up in the V-berth too.
Who's that?
He disappeared. He said, all right, I got your light and you guys can do what you're doing. And he took off. I guess we're going here. But everything I have to show you, so we'll take the other light behind us because everything that I worked on this week is down in the V-berth and kind of in the cabin.
Well, why do you need it? Oh, it's so.
Still nothing with the engines here. We were talking about maybe dropping some more oil in them.
Hand me that light.
There. Okay, hold on, because there's no floor. So this is going to be a wonderful balancing act. Here. And trying not to drop the phone. Oh. Wait, how did you... Okay. Oh, do you want the light then or no?
Give me the light.
There you go.
Come on.
So it's been a little while since we made a video on the steel boat that I've been working on. I think the last couple of things that we talked about was we removed all the dash, all the old canvas off the dash and everything. And we took the faceboard off of the front of the cabin, which I've been mentioning for a couple of weeks now, but I can show you guys that. But we'll start here in the cabin. This would be the dinette. You got your 2 seats and your table. And I've been working on pulling up all of the linoleum, which if you've never taken a linoleum off of a floor, you can't appreciate how hard it is to remove the glue that's underneath of it. I also pulled out the steps to remove the linoleum from behind there, which I had to put them in so we could walk down here in the cabin. It's a big step without the steps in there. So then what I did this week, as you can see, I have my window frames out. I removed the top of them so that I could get to the bottom tracks. I'll show you this where I'm not blocking the light. I can move that this way for you a little more. These are the tracks. So I had to clean those out. These are, ooh, it's gonna crack on me. These are what was in there in the bottom of the track. And you can see the difference from the window track at the bottom as opposed to the top track and padding. So I'm gonna sand this down here and we're gonna stain it and coat it the same as the outside, this little inside ledge. and then put some new, clean this all out and put some new track in for the windows. So you don't hear just nails on a chalkboard, sand scratching the window as you slide them open and shut. And also to be able to reseal them so the water's not coming in. So I haven't done anything in the bathroom really, except for removed the little piece of track in here that continues that window. It's just one big window. And the bottom of the track in here is just as bad. We'll come back to the bathroom in a minute, but what we're working on now is gonna be in the bathroom.
Well, no, this track that she's showing you, this is the upper piece
Right, it sets
that
on
goes
top.
up on here.
Yeah, and those tracks are still in really, I mean, even though they're 70 years old, they're not horrible. They're still in okay.
But the metal's shot on the other ones, right?
Right, the metal's
Because
rusted
you could
through.
probably
And
make these with felt.
yeah, and the
with
felt
felt.
is gone, and the others, it's just full of sand and rust. Okay, you want to bring the bright light in here? This is the messy room, and right now everything that you touch in here, it's just like fine powder because I've been sanding. But so I'll show you this first. Let me step back just a little bit. You can see I'm missing my whole front window. That's what I've been telling you about the last couple weeks, is I removed that and sanded it and stained it and urethane it, and we have to fix the
and you're not
crack.
doing it justice because,
Do I need to step back some more?
well, you might have to cop out here
Okay.
because, right. So I'll step up here. So this is the roof, comes down, and then this is where that board goes in.
Right.
It stalls between here and here.
Yeah.
These are just tarps on the outside.
He's just telling you that I wasn't doing it justice. I didn't have the camera so you could see it, but it's
And
like
this is the porthole
What?
above the beaver.
that's the
V-berth.
porthole above the V berth, and those are just tarps hanging down protecting the roof. But it's what would you say that's about? What was this across 9 foot or 8 foot? I don't
What?
even know across the top of here where I took this board out. This board is like what?
8 foot.
8 foot at least.
Yeah, it's a big board.
You know, and it's got two windows in it. One, the
Well,
glass
let
was
me get out my
missing.
measuring utensil.
The glass was missing in the one side. There you
Here's
go.
6 foot right here. So that's our 2
That's-
foot. That's
yeah,
an 8 foot
8
board.
foot. And then he showed you, I removed the cap on top of the porthole, and that's in the basement waiting to be sand. So what I've been doing this
Well,
week,
and then show them we gotta fix.
hold on.
We gotta
I'm
fix
coming.
this corner right here.
Yeah.
This is supposed to go all the way down to the deck, and it rotted out.
And be sealed.
And then and it's supposed to go down here too, but that was a chunk
No, yeah.
or somebody cut out.
Somebody cut that.
And then there's a little rot right here and a little bit here, so we got to do a little repair there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not bad for 1954,
Right.
and it never would have rotted out there if it wasn't for neglect.
So this week I spent a lot of time with not earmuffs, but what do you call the little earplugs in? Walked around, I couldn't hear anybody for like 3 days this week. It was great. But I've been up here in the boat, you can see. I took the needle gun to all the steel spots where I thought it was coming loose, and I could see where there was some rust peeking through, and I just went to town with the needle gun and cleaned up all of these. I need a light so I can show them in the tracks.
Where's the
All
needle
of
gun?
these tracks where the water's gotten in and set or loosened up some paint, and just was able to, this couple of top ones are pretty good.
Oh, but they don't know what you're looking at. So give me the camera.
Right.
And I'll
Hold it.
I'll hold it. So
Okay.
here you go.
What I'm looking at.
You know. Boy, now show them what you were cleaning.
These tracks. Oh, I think so dusty.
Here.
My trusty bag is all the way. So you can see here, these big flakes of rust to get down to where it was rusting so that I can put rust inhibitor on all these spots and seal it where all this is paint
Right.
has come through and the water's gotten to the metal. And the hardest part is the needle gun's a little bit too big.
Don't shine the light at the phone.
Yeah, the needle gun's a little bit too tall, so I can't quite get in this small space. And the best part is getting in that small space, because I originally was talking about removing all of this cabinet and Weber section because it would be easier to get.
It's
to
hard to
all
get
of these.
zoomed out far enough so they can see the closet.
I know it.
But there's the closet. Okay, honey,
Okay.
I'm back far enough. Show them where you were needle gunning.
Where I was hiding. Here, you want to hold the light?
Yeah, the
So-
more light, the better.
Let me explain first, though, why I was hiding and needle gunning in tiny spaces. Because all this cabinet and bed area that you're looking at, I was going to remove all of it. And I took all the screws out. I had probably 50 screws out of it before I realized that not only do they have it screwed together, but they also glued it. And even though
That's
it's
not a flattering light. I'm trying to.
even though it's a 70-year-old boat or whatever here, the glue is really good. And I was gonna risk damaging the wood and stuff, and I didn't want to do that, so I just said heck with it. Crawl into these little spaces and
That's right.
make the best attempt.
Owen, show him that space. Get in there.
He's taller than I am, though. Skinnier.
Now show that you can fit all the way in there. Yeah? Oh, wait, come on.
That's good hiding place.
Yeah.
Okay, honey.
But so
Let's see.
I just
Because they're never going to believe that you were in there.
I don't want to bump the speaker though, so you'll have to hang on to this. Just hold it close behind me so I don't hit it.
This should be pretty good.
I'm using my air hose and my needle gun.
I'm trying to get back far enough so they can see this.
It's funny because I gotta turn sideways. My hips are too wide to fit in the closet straight up.
Come on, honey. Go in the closet.
So, I have to turn sideways. And then I just come in here and thank goodness for the ear plugs, because if you can imagine a needle gun metal on metal just in an open area, now compact that area shoulder width and knee high. It's not fun. It's not fun. But, so then I just kind of, again, twist my hips because I'm too wide. And step out.
Wide load.
Oh, shush, Owen. So after I got a needle gunning everything, yeah, thank you.
Here, on your camera.
Can you sit down? Then everything is sanded. So I've got it all ready from the closets forward. Everything is needle gun and sanded.
Trevor
And-
asks, "What's the needle gun?"
What is the needle gun?
needle gun? I didn't see it.
No, but it's here.
No, it's not up there. Just the hose is up there. The old hose.
I'm gonna take the needle gun off the boat. Maybe I did. But I have a child up here that will run and get the needle gun so you guys can see what it is in a minute.
All right, so let's take a
And-
minute and
hold
go
on.
out here.
I want to finish telling them what I was doing in here.
Oh, okay.
So even though, here we go.
There it is.
This,
Here.
It's the needle gun.
You guys. Here, take the phone. You get on me.
It's gonna be too loud. The phone ain't
so
gonna be able to pick it up.
that is what a needle gun looks like. And you hook it up to your compressor, your air hose, and the needles with the pressure.
Oh, and we're still hooked up.
Yeah.
It's not like the neighbors are sleeping. They're out drinking anyways in their yard. So, I mean,
Trevor, he already knows he's on it.
oh, and go hook up the air hose in the garage.
Okay.
So,
You go,
right. Makes a lot of noise. it was kind of funny because I was needle gunning for like 3 days. And on the third day, I had my earplugs in and they came up and interrupted me. So I took them out to visit for a minute and I forgot to put them back in. And that's when I came back up in here and I did that strip along the top there. And I didn't have my earplugs in. So I was walking around for the rest of the day and all of the next day with my ears just ringing because I was a dumbass and didn't put my earplugs back in.
So we had just a regular fitting on the end of this needle gun before. And what we found it was doing was every time you'd use the needle gun for a half an hour, and after a half an hour, the little balls in the chuck would actually wear through that collar and then unplug.
Can you guys hear him okay, or
Oh, yeah,
do I gotta
they can
repeat
hear.
that? Okay.
And anyways, so then I devised this rubber hose clamp on that air fitting, and then that stops that vibration from ruining this collar. But
Well, it did.
how is this working, Kate?
It did until. Have you guys ever had something plugged in like a water hose and you turn it on and it's just loose, like water wiggle, and it just kind of whips you? I was busy at work and this thing just went whew, right out and just let loose. So I'm like, oh shit. Well, so then I just took it off. I didn't put it back on.
So then we upgraded to the swivel one on the
Right.
hose.
Well, because I wasn't getting any clearance, and I get about 3 inches of clearance
Right,
with
and
that,
that would bend
in
over.
the top. Right.
So bring them in.
Noise
To
clear.
demonstrate, so plug your ears or turn your volume down.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
This is what I was doing all week. You need the
Needle gun.
earplugs. Yeah.
Needle gun. Here, we can give them the slow motion close up here. Oh, I kicked the compressor on. Needle gun.
Needle gun. Oh,
And then she wore out another sanding pad. Not the sandpaper itself, but the actual disc.
yeah, I got it so hot. That went flying on me too. I was literally sanding and had the sander up against the wall and it was sanding and then the pad just went, it just like walked right away.
So,
Yeah.
so then the big crisis of the week was the water tank.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And so on her boat, there, give me the mic here.
You're telling them all about my struggles.
Well, you can tell them.
No, you're doing a great job.
No.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I had to pull out so I could clean out the track. I had pulled out the other water hose too.
All right.
Yeah.
So these brackets that you see right here are hanging, and that's holds the water tank up here. And then the water tank has the deck fill through this hole right here. And she couldn't get that off because what they did was they bolted the water tank up, and then the last thing they did was threaded the fitting down on the deck, and we had to get a pipe wrench on it and get it off. She couldn't get it off up for a day.
I was up here. I was easily up here for an entire day. I was fighting with the pipe wrenches, with other wrenches. I literally looked at Jonathan. I was at like the end. I was just done for the day, and I'm like, "Oi! All I can think of now is just go get the sawzall. I'm just gonna cut that pipe." Or a little more colorful though. I was just exhausted and tired of fighting with it, and I couldn't get it out. So he come up here, and in 5 minutes he got it out.
You know.
5 minutes. I was so mad. So anyway, that's everything's all sandy. But so the next step is to get up here and hose all this down and scrub it all down and clean it, so that I have a clean surface to apply the rust inhibitor to, and then I'll put some primer on it and paint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Okay.
So the neat thing about the water tank
Hold
is
on. No, go ahead.
I got it.
Well, I'm holding the phone funny.
Oh, there.
I got one more hand.
So the really neat thing about the water system on this boat
These are the hoses.
that water tank goes up forward. And then right off the sides of the water tank, attach these two hoses, and there's two of them up here. And they just lay in that upper rail that she was cleaning, and they come back here to this valve, and there's no water pumps or anything. It's just gravity fed. That tank's about a foot above this valve. The same thing in the bathroom. It's just a gravity fed water system. No pumps, no nothing. End of the season, when you're done, you just open the valves, let all the water run out. And then if you're really worried about it, you take a vacuum cleaner and suck on it. The other thing, and this is my favorite thing, right here is the 1954 refrigerator that came in this boat. And it is too cool.
I think one rack is missing, but it still had all the racks in it.
No, they're all there.
No, there's one missing up on the top, a short one that goes here on those three. And then
Here, I'll get a light.
what's really cool is, it's really not that cool. It's really quite trivial actually, but you guys remember the old aluminum ice trays somebody left in there? They're still sitting in there.
I'm sure these came with it.
That's what I was just gonna say, is I'm sure they probably came with
Because
the boat.
they fit.
Perfect.
They fit too good.
Yeah.
And then
Right, they remove, make easy for easy cubes.
right.
Ooh, that light's, there we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes,
Yep.
the old refrigerator.
So, the next
With
step. Yeah, the nice handle and everything.
I know.
Ah,
Guaranteed the children can't get out.
yeah. Right. Or if you're the Hulk, you go in there to help protect you from the gamma rays.
There you go. Now I touched this hose and
So
I just want to-
you gotta move those so I can show them. I still need the light though. So if you thought those closets were tiny spaces, the next step after I get the V-berth done is to crawl in here and be able to get up on those tracks.
rail.
Yeah, rails, angle. I'm sure there's a
Braces.
exact name for them. Yeah, bracing. And then to crawl back there, can you shine it just there? You go, and be able to get up in there without being able to remove any of this cabinetry. And the same for in the tracks in the bathroom. You got to get to all the rust and needle gun and sand down all of that. So that's kind of where I'm at this week with the boat. Slow progress, but little by little it's coming. Oh, sorry. Are we gonna go up and sit on the deck for a little bit?
Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
maybe.
No, just so. Give me the microphone. You got a good idea. Just put it in your pocket.
Yeah, I had it in there.
So, this is the original interior right here of the boat. This is, that doesn't come loose.
No,
How's that
No.
pass?
no, it's stapled. It's sewn that way and then stapled underneath.
Oh, okay.
It's one big piece.
Yeah. Yeah, so that just has to come off
Yeah.
there. But anyways, this is the original that came in it, this blue with the white piping. And we have all of it.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's all in this condition. The only thing that needs to, all the thread rotted out.
Right, right.
So,
Holy.
all the thread rotted out. So all of the canvas or, I don't know,
Vinyl.
vinyl Yeah, I keep calling it canvas. I don't know why, but all the vinyl's in really good shape. It looks like it wasn't even used. It's just all the thread ripped out. So, yeah.
And even the headliner was all in here still. We've been taking it out little bit by little bit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in horrible shape.
No, and we would have left it in completely. Okay, stop pulling something out. We would have left it in completely, except that it had been removed by the people who had possession of the boat to show that there wasn't any rot underneath. So,
Yeah, they're probably having a hard time hearing me with the microphone.
oh, I was just saying that we probably would have left all of this headliner in because it was in good shape, but it had been already ripped.
You want to hear something really funny?
Already ripped by the person who had the boat previously.
That microphone that we're throwing around back and forth, we're idiots.
Yeah.
Because you got to have the other thing for it.
Oh no.
So they can
I
hear
had
it off the phone.
I had it plugged in, but then I took it out and started walking around. Yeah, I'm a dumbass.
Oh, that's okay.
But that's, a daily basis here.
Mhm.
So, anyway.
It's a delight.
I don't know, it's kind of creepy. Well, we just got done watching the new Ghostbusters Afterlife, so it's kind of fitting.
Don't be showing them a hole in my butt.
The side of your leg, maybe? Can't help it. It's like perfect height. You weren't moving fast enough. I'm waiting for you to move and come up there.
I'll move.
Okay.
There went my sandal.
Oh, don't lose your sandal.
I won't. I might. I'm pretty sure that's not how you wear that. Down here.
I'll move the chair out of my way. Okay. You want me to shine on you there?
Well, I think what would probably be best.
I don't know why my phone keeps going in and out of focus, but it's probably because he's moving that light around. There we go.
Well, I was trying to get down here. So, let's take a trip down memory lane. These, I should just hang on to the light.
Yeah, or give it to me and I'll hold it.
Here, can you see that?
Yeah.
These are the Norberg bullets. And these are Flathead 6 engines that were built by Hercules, but then Norberg here did the marine conversion.
With the Paragon
Transmissions.
transmissions.
Yep. Yep, with 2-to-1 reduction. So, and what we don't know is what make or model this generator is. I couldn't tell you other than it's a flathead 2-cylinder generator. We're going to pull this generator out and get it out of here because I'm pretty sure that it's never going to run again. Or at least it'll never probably run again in this boat. We get it out, maybe we'll tinker with it and get it going.
No dinner tonight.
Oh, that's not true. We had dinner.
We had dinner, but we didn't do any filming of the progress that I made on my boat this week. So we're up on the boat instead of cooking dinner and walking you through the progress.
Yeah. So dinner tonight was bratwurst.
Yeah.
On the grill. Go to Aldi, get 2 packages of bratwurst, cook on grill till desired 25 minutes, they turn out perfect.
Yeah.
No. So this engine turns over. We're able to turn this one over. This one's still stuck. The starboard engine's still stuck. To be honest, they're probably going to get pulled out of here. I don't know that we're going to run them. We're going to mess with them a little bit and see if we can get them to fire up. But
Applebee's. No.
oh, Brad,
They didn't make it. They didn't make it. There's no leftovers. The kids ate them all.
We'll have to drive the boat to Applebee's.
Yeah.
They need an Applebee's on the water, Brad.
No, you just go to takeout and pull up with the boat at the window. And you pull your truck past the window.
So let's get a little bit more into. You can just stay
Okay.
right there in your
I'll-
chair.
I'll give you
So
the
let's
phone.
yep.
Okay.
Let's get a little bit more into what's going on down here in this engine compartment. Down here, you'll see next to my damaged foot, right here, that is a steel frame. Then right here, this is a wood shiv that they mounted the engine on. And the engine's sitting on 4 of those wood shivs, one in the front, one in the back, and then one on each side. You can probably see it a little bit better from that angle. But yeah, they mounted these Nordbergs on a steel frame. Oh, she said up.
There you go.
Okay. They mounted the Nordbergs on a steel frame in the boat, and then they mounted the motor mounts to wood shivs to get the alignment for the shafts. And we'll show you. Oh, and of course that light just
Aw,
died.
what the light.
Here, okay, you got the phone. I'll go get some other lights. It crawls out of the hole, and then it steps over to where she took the steps away.
Yeah, but I didn't. I put them back just for you. I did. I let everybody know how dangerous it was without the steps in here. What you guys didn't see all week was I had that center board. That's just one big board. And it just picks up out of the center. And I had that removed and the steps removed. And
She's trying to kill me.
you can see behind them there's a break, and then there's another blue platform, and that was gone too. So we were walking on stringers like this here all across down in the cabin all week.
Yeah, and I am standing in what is the battery box, the steel frame battery box. But here, hold on, I'll get a second light going. There's the other lights. So let's take you down here. So here's the transmission, and then that goes down into the shaft seal right there, which you can see is all brass, and then right through the hull. And we'll show you. This is the exhaust pipe from the engine going back, and then this one right here, the little one, is the exhaust from the generator. And then it's got 200, get a little light over. There's 200-gallon pigs down here for the fuel. So, but you can see, other than a little bit of dirt that's gotten in here, this hull is clean, clean, clean. It needs another washing and vacuuming. But nowhere is there any rust inside of this hull.
Right, no, like, it just surface rusted, all that stuff I've been taking off with the needle gun.
There's the automatic, right here is the automatic control for the generator. And then, some people that have messed around with lots of old junk will have seen what I'm about to show them. But if you're not from the school of, oh, come on.
I apologize, I don't know why my phone keeps auto-focusing.
Yeah, there. Close the door. Da, da, da. Now, this is proof this boat's all original. Bring that phone over here. I'll show you right here. How original is this? Look at the transfer switch for the generator to shore power.
Igor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's switch.
Igor, throw the switch.
That's funny.
That's the transfer switch to switch from ship's power off this generator to shore power at the dock. Oh, okay. I'm out of
The engine
there.
department.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Set up so they can see us.
Okay. Well, you can plug in the things again if you want.
Oh well. Tell them to humor us for a second.
Yeah, give us humorous just for a second. He's gonna put it in the pod so it's steady and we can hook up the speakers now that we're not moving around. Or the microphone, not the speakers. Well, shoot, Brad, I have faith he can make both engines run, but, you know, that's why they call it faith.
Yo, here's what I'm gonna tell you, Brad. There's a reason that they don't build flathead 6 engines anymore. I'll tell you right now. Fuel economy, reliability, those don't have hardened valve seats. I know there's a hole here somewhere. Where's the hole? Where's the hole? Oh, is it on the other side? It's on the other side. That's why.
I'm sure.
There. I should be in the shot.
Are you in the shot?
Oh, yeah.
You got the comfy chair.
Oh, I got the comfortable chair.
Yeah.
So, there, I'll take the microphone.
Yeah. I almost forgot I had it for a second because we weren't using it.
Yeah. So progress is slow, but we are slowly making progress on the old wood boat here. It just, Rome wasn't built in a day. It just, you keep on plugging away a little bit.
And you want to do it right. You don't want to skip anything or skip over anything. And it's just one of those things where when you're working on it, you want to be working on it and have the right attitude working on it, so you know you're doing it the right way, you know.
Well, in a couple extra days or a couple extra months, even at this point, attribute to years later of not having to come back and do stuff. So getting in and needle gunning every little bit of rust out of every little rail, every little corner really does, in the long run, this will be the last time I redo the boat or help with it. I mean,
I do this boat, and I might still have it. My kids might be alive and doing it, and I'll be sitting in the chair drinking lemonade, watching them. You're doing it wrong. That's not how I did it.
Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Maybe.
Oh. So, well, that's kind of a quick tour of where we're at with the boat right now, and it's coming along. Progress. One of these nights, I'm gonna have to drag a battery up here, and I don't have a 6-volt battery, but I mean, I know I could use a 12-volt one just to roll them over, but we really would like to see the old engines run at least once, maybe like like next summer, like drive it around and just run it on the old engines before they get pulled out and new ones replace them. And the generator, not so much. We could care less about the generator.
I would just like to hear the engines run, because I mean, there's no imagining what they sounded like if you've never heard them. And it would be cool to see it running with the engines in it. That's all. You know.
Sound like an old Packard.
Right. Right.
Matter of fact, I was looking at the spark plug wires the other day, and it says right on the spark plug wires, it says Packard.
Does it? Right.
does.
Right. Well, I was going to mention too, the other thing that makes the progress on this boat so slow is that there's no shortage of materials that you can use to do the job. And there's no shortage of information out there of everybody telling you what the right way is. And you got to sift through hundreds sometimes of different materials and stuff to use.
No, that's not true at all.
Oh,
All you have to do is ask me.
yeah, I do ask you. But there is a lot of information. That's like the roof right now. We know what needs to be done to make it waterproof.
Well, here, so the roof originally over that wood, you see the whole the hull is all steel, and then outside of that, the decks, the cabin sides, the cabin roofs, everything is wood. And what they did to make the roofs waterproof was they took canvas that wasn't pre-shrunk. They took it before it's shrunken. They took canvas up, they stretch it on there, pull it all tight, fasten it, and then shrink it and then paint it. And that was the original, that's what it had for the original material on the roof. And people still do that and like full on period correct restorations. But like when we do the roof, it'll be some kind of Landau material, like for a Landau topper. It'll just be a modern vinyl, something that's going to last 15 or 20 years. But we still have to seam it together because like the roof, if I remember right, it's like 108 inches from trim piece to trim piece. And I was looking at the materials I could get was, I think the biggest I could get was a 60-inch wide roll. So we're going to have minimum of one seam in the roof. Are you checking to see? She's checking the phone for text message. What?
Are the engines left-hand rotation or counter rotation?
One turns left, one turns right. One is a counter rotation engine in this boat. I can't remember. I think it was, I looked before. It says right on the tag which one's the counter rotation engine. And which is surprising because the reduction gears that they use, the Paragon reduction gears, they really didn't need to do that. They could have used two right rotation motors and just corrected the rotation with the transmission, so you had opposite rotation. But they didn't. It actually has one counter rotating engine in it, which is kind of funny because anybody that watched the Pinion when we were messing with that Pinion's only got a single engine in it, but it's got a reverse rotation engine in it. I can't even begin to fathom why that has a counter rotation engine in it. Because one, it's only got one engine, and two, there wasn't any real reason because they could have propped it either way for either rotation. So I don't know, maybe Pinion got a good deal on counter rotation engines that year, or had some left over, or I couldn't tell you. But that Pinion, the stupid yellow Pinion, that engine spins backwards. And we found out the hard way trying to start it and time it, that it didn't turn the right way. On another note, that Chrysler, that small block Chrysler, though, how to tell if that's a counter rotation engine, there's a spacer about 1.5 inches tall underneath the distributor. And if you ever are looking at an old boat engine or something that came out of a boat and it's a Chrysler small block and you see that spacer underneath that distributor, that's a counter rotation engine. It spins the wrong way. The firing order, though, is the same exact firing order as it would be forward. It's just backwards. So instead of 1-8 whatever, it's like 1-2-3. Yeah, it's the same firing order, just reversed. But How about what do you got left?
Not much really. I just come out here and work on it a little bit here and there and do what I can do. And you go from talking about engines and I don't have anything left for them. Sorry, guys.
Well, we got all the goodies are off of the boat right now, but we've been able so far. Everything has came apart without breaking anything yet. Which, when you're dealing with a 1954 boat, which is however years, how old is this thing now? 70
something.
Well,
54, 2024, it'll be 70.
Right.
If it was 54, so it's 68.
68 years old.
Yeah.
68 years old, everything's a challenge. Whether
Which is, I mean, it's kind of crazy because you don't think about it. But like I was saying earlier in the cabin, when I tried to remove just all of the shelves and the closets and everything to get to the hall, there was no removing it. I removed like 50 screws and it still wasn't coming apart because whatever glue that they used to glue everything together before they screwed it together wasn't coming loose. And that's how I had to take the front window board piece out too.
glue, Indy, strong glue.
Yeah, strong glue. I had to use the oscillating saw just to get that front window piece out, and that was a challenge in itself.
Well, I don't know what kind of glue or adhesive they used up on the sides though. It's black and it ain't silicone and it ain't tar. I don't think it's tar, but because to make the curvature of the roof where it comes over the side, they strip together 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh God, about a dozen 1-inch boards are stripped together and adhesive, glued together. And she wants to show you. But I mean, you want to talk about craftsmanship that went into this. I mean, because somebody had to cut every one of these boards and cut it and bevel it, and had to have an angle because they all fit. Because as you're looking at that curve, all those boards fit together, and so every individual board is cut kind of in the shape of a V, where the bottom of the board is smaller than the top, and then they got them all to fit together perfectly and make that radius, that curve going over the side of the roof. And you just look at stuff like that, and you just kind of shake your head at the thought of having to take any of it apart. I mean, we're very fortunate. None of that, all the stuff we've had to take apart on this boat has been real straightforward, window frames out, stuff like that. But you really wouldn't want to dig into like these roofs and have to redo them. And the nice thing is, the hybrid, no, I haven't. In Tally Ho, I will look. But you wouldn't want to dig into any of that. But the nice thing is that's just on the sides. Then you go from the sides to all the way across the roof, the 8-foot span or whatever, and then it's just marine plywood. Hey, they love that marine plywood back in the day. And that's the same thing. These floors that's underneath me right now is just 3/4 inch marine grade plywood. So she showed you the wood pieces I was talking about, but what are you showing them right now? Oh, the black tar. Can you see the black tar? Right. Yeah, whatever it was really wet when they put it on there, but it's hard as concrete now. Yeah. But so, like I said, so far everything we've needed to tear apart on this boat, we've been able to dig apart and get into, and what's a challenge, and in theory this sounds like just the most wonderful thing in the world, is this thing's just loaded with, if it's got one, it's got 2,000 brass screws in it, maybe more.
And you're not going to use a power drill to get them out. At least I'm not. Maybe some of you talented men out there would just go in here and zip out the stupid brass screws with a power drill. But the second you get on there, it just strips them right out. You got to sit there and and they're tight in there because I think they put some of that glue on the end of them. So you just got to just ever so slow with tons and tons of pressure. Otherwise, you're just stripping out the heads. So I don't think we're putting brass screws back in when we put it all together.
Torx head stainless.
I have removed the screws. Well, the first time I hadn't gotten quite into needle gunning and sanding the V-berth yet, and I was going to remove the bunks there to get to the V-berth, to clean the V-berth out, and I had my son go around and remove all the top ones because in the Owens or in some boats, they'll screw down the board that you lay on in the V-berth. You just take the screws out and the board lifts up. Well, I thought that's what I was going to have my son do, so I had him remove all the screws just on the top. And when it didn't come out, like 5 minutes later when he got done taking them all out, I said, well, just put them all back in. So we did that. And then this week, then we went through and did it all again and took them off the front board and the side board, and it still wouldn't come out. And I realized it was all glued together, so it's been an adventure, I guess.
You this. Yeah, lots of work. The adhesives from the 1950s, today's stuff ain't got shit on them. I mean, that I don't know what chemicals and what cancers it can give you, but I mean, 68 years later, it's still holding. The glue's still holding. It's not falling apart on this boat anywhere. Anything that they glued is
That whole, they don't make it like they used to, but I mean, they really don't. So
no. It's a lot of fun. Maybe in the next day or two we'll get around and clean that transom off, and I'll paint Moontide on the transom.
yeah, I don't want to rush that though because I want that to come out perfect. That's going to be like the stunning aspect of the boat. That's got to come out just right. I guess it don't really matter though because paint, you just sand it off or paint over it if you don't like it, whatever. My next step, what I want to do before I even get to what I'm doing in the cabin and OSPO, and I would like to get around the edge where the wood here meets the outside. There's just because I have all the trim removed, there's like a hairline crack in there, and I kind of looked and I didn't see where they had applied anything between those two. I think they applied it just to the trim. Right, where the cabin meets the side of the steel hull. And I don't think they ever put anything to keep those together. They have screws that run along the edges, and then the trim, I think they put that black glue or whatever that is on the back side of the trim and then just stuck it to the side of the boat, and that's what sealed it and kept the water out. The original Gorilla adhesive. So, but that's my next step. I want to get that on there so we're keeping the water from going down in the cabin.
I don't know if it's made by Gorilla, but you got to be a gorilla to take it apart. I know that. So it's coming along though. Hopefully this time next year we'll just be sitting on this boat cooking dinners and doing this same podcast thing from this boat in the water.
Wade says I wanted to use a diesel outboard power head on a custom base with an impeller mounted vertical and E outlets, so 2 large outlets on the transom, 2 aiming forward on the sides of the bow. This could give diesel thrusters.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Actually, well, you know what this boat needs? Is it needs, if Brad's still watching, he'll love this idea. This just needs a big old Detroit 60 series right down in the center. And then a big old pump. Okay, a big old jet pump on it. And make it jet propulsion. But then it just needs a couple valves. It just needs a T pipe going forward. So when you put the cup in neutral and it's letting half the water into the reverse cup and blocking it from going out, then you can jack up the pressure and just have a couple solenoid valves up in the front and use it like a thruster. So you just hit one button and the thrust comes out one side, and you could do it all with one 160 series Detroit 500 horse.
Can you imagine whipping this thing around like you do your little jet boat?
I can imagine whipping this around like a little jet boat.
This has probably got a good pulse.
It would be like that. What was the name of that boat in Sahara you looked up today?
Santana.
No,
Sahara, no.
what was the name that manufacturer?
That was a hard name to remember.
Yeah, it's a funny name.
Yeah.
But anybody that's ever seen the movie Sahara, the speedboat in that movie was a 42-foot. I can't remember the name of it. We looked it up. Hunter something. Yeah, Hunter Tier. No, it was a funny name, but that had twin diesel jet drives in it. I mean, come on, man, that'd be freaking awesome.
Well, this would be good because this would be good as a jet boat because the nose would kind of dig in because it's a real sharp V, but then the back end of this boat's like flat. Oh, I forgot about the keel.
Skeg, the 18-inch skeg hanging off the bottom.
We just remove that on something, and then this will just be great. Yeah, I forgot about the skeg.
If it didn't have the skeg though, and you put a couple of jet drives, it would be a pretty gnarly ride. Especially put it up. Well, so the neat thing about this boat is, even though it's 32-foot steel boat, those two Norberg engines are, I think these are only the 90. Either they're the 90 horse or the 110 horse. They're not much. I mean, both engines, you're talking 200 horsepower total. And this boat did like 24 mile an hour. So
110. They didn't offer the Nordbergs in a 90 horsepower.
Wow.
I thought it was just a 110 for this year.
Well, that might.
Right. But I mean, on the back of the original photo that was sent to us from the first owner's daughter, he wrote on there 90 horsepower, but we were told from the marina that had the boat that they were 110s, and I'm pretty sure on the registration it says 110 horsepower on it. But there's some confusion. I don't think we found anywhere on the engines where it says. Did we? I don't think so.
The horsepower rating is not on the engines, because I have looked at all the tags, all the serial numbers and everything, and there is no horsepower rating on the engines. But it's just it's a real easy, there's only two versions of that flathead Hercules 6, and it's either this version with the single updraft carb or the other version with two updraft carburetors. And if you had the twin carburetors, I think it was around 150 horse or so. You got like putting a second carburetor on there, you got like another 30 horsepower, 40 horsepower. But these are the single updraft carburetors, and everything's intact. Here's one for any motorheads. There's no alternator belts, because the alternators are gear driven. Well, the generators, let me correct. The generators are gear driven on the engines. But yeah, so we know these are the low horsepower engines just because of the fact that they're the single carburetor engines. But one modern small block would be, what?
My phone's about to die.
Oh, our phone's about to die. Okay, 58 minutes and her phone's about to die, so we'll cut this off in 2 minutes. But anyways, back to, you could just put one small block anything in here today and have more horsepower than this boat had to start with. Because this 110 horse aside, 220 total horsepower, you put one modern 300 horse small block in here, you get an extra 80 horsepower. So what we're looking at is two small 4-cylinder diesels around 170 horse each. That'd put us at 340 horse. That'd give this old boat like a 30 mile an hour top end, which would be just a honking for a 32-foot steel boat. But that's all comes down to the hull design. I mean, the planing design for these hulls is a little different than a modern hull, how it pushes water and how it goes through the water. It doesn't climb up on top as much. I think the best way to describe this is anybody that ever seen a video of an old PT boat and how the water comes off the front kind of as they're going through. That's kind of how these are when they get going through the waters. They got that little bit of spray that's coming off both sides up front. But if you look at the bow of this, and you look at some of those old round, it's round. It's not shaped like a modern like the V. I mean, it's just it looks like a lifeboat. It's kind of it looks like it stubbed its nose.
And on that note, we're gonna call it a night. It was nice chatting with you, and it was nice to show you all the updates that we have done this week. We'll see you next week. Hopefully more dinner and a boat, or maybe some more on a boat if we don't get a video out this week of a boat.
Pizza on this boat?
Yeah, maybe. I got to get it cleaned up. You don't want to eat in these conditions. The dust and everything everywhere.
See, and that's what's wrong with modern youth today. Because if you eat in these conditions and you live, that's right, make you tough. That's right, George Carlin. Make you tough. Make you tough. You don't want to raise no wussies.
Yeah, no wussies. All right, well, you guys, give us a like, throw us a like there, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next Friday.
You talk them right on out of here. I'll hit the button.
Okay.
If I don't,
Well, if
fall
he doesn't
asleep-
fall in the engine pit. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for visiting us this Friday night. And next week we'll have maybe dinner on the boat out here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Friday.